Welcome to Hops and Handshakes. This is episode 6. We are at Creston Brewery off of Plainfield, just north of downtown, correct?
Yep.
I'm with Derek Coppess from 616 Development and a lot of other things. I'll let you tell it. Derek, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And obviously cheers, because we don't do this without the beverage of choice.
Yes.
I believe we went with the polar bear, correct?
We did. Creston polar bears.
It is quite tasty. Derek, tell us a little about yourself.
So, I'm Derek. I started 616 Lofts and then 616 Development. And we just rolled out 616 Places, which is, actually, let me back up. So, 616 Development receives the opportunity, so an old building or a vacant piece of dirt, like across the street.
Sure. And
we come up with an idea on how to maximize that space or that building, and we focus on market rate housing. So
when did this start?
So it started, I came back to Grand Rapids in 2002 as a 20-year-old-ish, buying duplexes, and I got up to 200 some at the age of 23.
Dear God.
Raising private capital and screwing all that stuff up. So you talk about screw ups. I have like 2 MBAs, I think, and a doctorate and what not to do, but got through it and learned a ton.
You got it. You got it. All right, talk to me about the first transaction. Because you immediately just jumped to 200. Like, hey, I just went back and I bought 200.
Yeah. So
I got a feeling it didn't work that way.
No.
Right.
So I read this. I saw an infomercial by Carlton Sheets.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah, he's got some of my money. I know. We're the reason why those still exist.
Yes.
All right, gotcha.
So obviously, as a young entrepreneur, you dabble in the get rich quick stuff. At least I did. I think that's probably a common thread.
Yep.
And that was one. And he could buy houses for no money down and all that stuff. I think the program was no money down by Carlton Sheets. And so I got kind of obsessed with that model and then tried what he did, and it didn't work. And so at that point, I was still in Virginia. I went to school in Virginia, played football down there. And then I came up to Grand Rapids and started buying duplexes, and so I would raise private capital.
Why duplexes?
There's more than one. I don't know. It seemed like good math.
I mean, one's good, two's better.
Yeah, two's better than one.
All right, simple math. All right.
Yeah, so did that and just raised money and learned to raise money at a young age. So I got capital from people I didn't know, and then I would buy a house, renovate it, lease it, and then get financing from a bank, and then pay them back. And they kept doing it. And
you build your street cred, and you buy 4 houses and eventually turn into a hotel, like Monopoly in a way.
The first day, or first year, I made a goal to do 1 per week for as long as I could, and I got to 37 weeks, buying 1 property a week.
Holy Henry.
So, and I was young, and so I bought. I mean, overall it was okay, but I mean, I screwed a ton of stuff up. Yeah, I mean, you have to learn to manage all that stuff, and so I talked another young guy into starting a management company, and he started a management company off this. And looking back, it was an awesome way to learn because you're in the game, and that's why I always say to young guys, like, just get in, just go, just do it. You know, especially when you're young, you have a cell phone bill maybe today. I mean, that's all you have. You probably live in your mom's basement, your parents' basement. Like, you have no bills. Start. Get some little cash flow machine going. Whether it's like lawn mowing, like get your neighborhood kids to get some cash flow going, so you don't have to do that. So you can start to think about the next thing.
So that's very interesting. So raising capital to buy houses.
Yeah.
Immediate response is, did you do this full time?
Yeah.
Where did you have? Where's the cash coming from for you to live? To where you live and what's going on?
Yeah,
because you're not able to pull X amount of dollars out of business if you keep buying back in.
We paid a little bit of a fee. I say me paid a little bit of a fee every property.
Okay.
So I could kind of live on that. Get the property renovated, and then
it wasn't a ton of money.
No, it was very little.
Okay.
It was very little, and you just kind of build it up over time, and and it turns into something, and all of a sudden we were at 200 some units, and at that point I stumbled downtown Grand Rapids, because I was kind of in the outside neighborhoods. And,
Sure.
And couldn't find a place to rent, like a cool apartment, like a loft apartment. Couldn't find it. There's a lot of condos, but that was like right before the recession, 07.
Okay, right before the world ended.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot of fractured condo projects. So that kind of served as a barrier of entry, blocker to the young demographic that want to move downtown.
Okay, so you got a few things coming from here. You've got an understanding of real estate, already paying attention to it. Doing the duplex thing.
Yeah.
You have a need yourself in saying, I kind of would like to live downtown and have someplace cool.
Yep.
And then also understanding that people around your age probably want to do the same thing, and nobody's home. Yeah. Like nothing's there.
That's it.
Nothing's there.
That's
okay.
it. So I stumbled into an old friend who owned one floor above the chop house, and so it was the fourth floor, and I said, I think people want to live downtown, apartments, like younger people maybe, and so we converted two apartments in the back and our office in the front.
Okay.
And we just turned the phone on, and it just rang, and it rang, and it rang, and it rang. And I was living at Icon and Bond. I had moved in after that, converted from condos to apartments.
Sure.
So I met Monica, my first employee. She was the property manager they hired to fill that thing, and so she's the one I started talking to about all this. Everybody wants to move downtown, and she was trapped in this building with a big corporate management company.
Oh yeah.
And so she was interested in this community thing, and they're like, no, that doesn't help the ROI, and so she was kind of in a place where she's like,
she's in the big ship that can't turn.
Yeah, she's like, I want to kind of get in the development game and create some community downtown. So when I lived there, I worked out at like weird times of the day, like 10 o'clock.
Sure.
And it was next door to the leasing office. So afterwards, I'd go over and say hi, and she's like, what do you do? And so I kind of shared, what I did with the duplexes and stuff, and she finally is like, can I have a job? she's pregnant, like with Zoe. So she is 2 kids, pregnant, and a great job, very comfortable. But she wanted more. She wanted to take a leap, and she did after she had Zoe, and she's been with me ever since.
That's awesome.
Was probably
That's cool.
That was probably eight years ago. Yeah, probably 8 years ago.
And you're continually growing. You got your hands in, several different things now. You got projects going on right across, just to the south of us, right here. Mm-hmm. Can you point back to a time to where it shifted? And if you hadn't made this decision, like I'm listening to your story, and I'm already thinking like, you had the audacity to watch a TV, buy a program, watch it for a couple hours, and say, yeah, I'm going to try that shit. And it didn't work. Yeah. And what about you doesn't make you mail it in and say, that doesn't work? Yeah. Because 9 out of 10, no. I'm not even giving this. Most people would say that Carlton Sheets has no idea what he's talking about. That's a fraud, that's a scam, whatever. Yeah. And you look at it as just a stepping stone to get you on your own unique path that you ultimately have to build yourself.
Totally. I'd never sell that and never send it back. I mean, I'm big on keeping every book I ever read. If I ever read a book, and I would say I probably give 5 books away a week. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like my love language. Mm-hmm. And but I never give my own book away. I always order one. Amazon Prime has changed my life.
You can't have this one.
No.
You can have the one in 2 days.
Because I love to look at my library because it's literally chronologically, it's my journey. And so that Carlton Sheets literally got me to the next step. And then from there, I got into like Think and Grow Rich, which got me into
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Do Robert Kiyosaki, everything that makes sense.
And so I look at it like a rabbit trail. So, it's all about seeing like one thing and like going. And then you get to that place, and then all of a sudden you can see something else over there, and then you see something else over there, and you just kind of keep going. And it's that like faith of an entrepreneur, that blind faith, I think that's so fascinating to me. Because I study myself all the time, and sometimes I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. Most of the times, And
but with the faith comes a level of self-confidence, and self-confidence is not inherent. I know of a couple people it really is. Maybe that is, and it truly is. Now, the guy I'm thinking of is a complete winner. He tell you he'll be a winner, but he's got himself into some very interesting situations that we can't even disclose on this show, nor would I ever do in public. But anyway, he has the mindset. But you make a statement. How many books have you read outside of college?
Oh my, hundreds. I mean, I was going a book a week.
Do you think that built your self-esteem, built your self-confidence?
Totally. I mean, I'll tell you, the books I read are not. There's a whole section of books written by kind of like, I call them lab rats, like people who research and interview people who've done stuff but have never done it themselves, other than have like a book writing career, or business. And I love the grit. I love reading Rockefeller. I love reading like people who have done it. And so hundreds of those.
Felix Dennis. I think it's Felix Dennis. The Narrow Road.
Okay.
It's a staple. It's the number one book of anyone I give when they're starting their journey, and that's what it is. Is a journey. It really is a journey.
It is.
But what you have to do is fill yourself with things to where reading a book and practicing stuff in your own private lab or whatever your private things helps you build the confidence to take some of these decisions and take that step of faith where you're like, I don't know if this works. I don't know. This is unconventional. Yeah. And you're still going to mess up, but so much of, in order for you to take those steps, if somebody's lacking self-confidence or lacking, the grit to go do it, you have to fuel yourself with the people who have been there, done that, and figure out how to digest that, just to give yourself the step to take, because there are turning points in your life where if you made a different decision, you wouldn't have that lot right away.
Butterfly effect or whatever.
Right. I mean, it's real.
It's so real. It's so real. I actually taught my family to ski 8 years ago. Okay. We were going to snowboard. We were going to be a snowboarding family.
Okay.
And Carter was 4 and Kendall was probably 7. I think that math's right. And Mandy and I hadn't like snowboarded, so we're like, we're going to be snowboarders. We get to Shush for our first ski weekend, and they only had skis. And so now we're a skiing family. I mean, that's just a little microcosm of truth, right?
Yeah,
that
exactly.
happens.
It does happen.
And we love skiing now. I don't even like snowboarding.
That's just by chance. But, it's cool. It's refreshing to say that, to where I can tell you one of the biggest turning points that I had. It's break my freshman year, and my undergrad was at Michigan State. I just got done with the first semester. Closing first semester, right? Done it. And somebody gives me the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Now, granted, and I read it, and I almost didn't believe it, so I read it again. And the cash flow quadrant, business, this, pre-tax income, investing into properties, equity. And I remember thinking, Michigan State's a decent business school. I don't know any classes about this. What's going on? I went to professors. I said, well, hey, what about this? Are we going to talk about this? And no, we're not going to talk about that. What? So I guess it's one of those things where, I don't know, there's so much out there, and there's so much free content that if you lack in confidence to do what you want to do, go sit in front of YouTube and Google, and search terms, and you can teach yourself Spanish and walk up to a job site and say, I'll help you translate, in Southern, or I'll help you, you could teach, how video editing, find out all kinds of stuff.
Or just find people who've done it. You're always fascinated at every stage of your development. There's somebody above that has done something that you want to do, or they've done something. So you go ask them, 9 out of 10 times they will meet with you. And mentors have been a huge part of my life. And so anytime a young girl comes, I did.
They're expecting you to ignore them, because
it's the opposite. And you get energized by that, and
And I'm with you. You're like, no, man, tell me your story, because I want what you have. Yes. I have no idea how the hell to do it.
And as you get older and further in the journry, you get a little jaded, that youthful energy, and we're still young as hell.
Exactly. But I have a couple that I can attribute to where, texting, calling, whatever this. But I can tell you the people that I look up to, and a handful of people, and one, a couple in particular, I can tell you they read 100 times more than most people.
A lot.
Right? And so they are smart naturally themselves, no question, and whatever. But they are, you are as smart, and your life is shaped by the people you meet and the books that you read, right?
Yeah.
And read this, read this, read this. And I actually had a test of one person. One person said, all right, I met him, and you could tell he's a complete A driver, my way, highway, that kind of stuff. He goes, all right, read that book, and I'll talk to you in the morning. It's a 350-page book, and I met him at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're meeting for breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning. All right, read the book, whatever. He said, wow. Because I've done that to 100 people. Nobody's ever read the book. He goes, all right, you're serious now.
Yeah.
But I can tell you the amount of feedback I get with that person, and they're out there. They want to vicariously live through you.
Yeah.
Like they remember the part, right? They remember the. And it's so valuable to have that there, to where I know one in particular will tell me something where I'm basically, there's no way I'm doing that, but he's getting me to stretch my brain in hopes that I might. It's the reach for the, reach for the stars kind of thing, right? You know what I mean? Or reach for the moon if you don't make it, those stars. But he's like, do this. All right, what are you going to charge that client? X. Cool. Take that yearly, turn it into monthly, and multiply it by 2. You want me to multiply this by 24? Is what you want me to do in this proposal? You are crazy. Try it out, man. See what happens. Worst thing you can say no. I'm like, oh my god, but you need that. Yeah, stretching it. So
it's huge.
All right. So you have a handful of people, or you have a couple people that you look up to, talk on a various basis.
Mentors are a big deal. Huge
Absolutely.
Deal. I've been really
all over the country.
No, I mean specifically here. I mean, it was almost like, what is it? Teaching the person will appear or whatever. I'm like the opposite. I'm like, I was here and I found teachers.
That's perfect.
I'm not. My parents were teachers, wonderful people, and so I have a high respect for education. But I couldn't I hated school. I hated it. I just wanted to get in the game. I just wanted to I was the youngest of 3.
Great way to describe it.
I was the youngest of 3, and so I was always, when I was in elementary, I wanted to be in middle school. Middle school, I wanted to be in high school. High school, I wanted to be in college. And college, I just wanted to get out. So I did. And
you're a futurist.
I just think there's so much learning in the world, and so I say that because I wasn't ready to be taught for until I was ready, and that's different for everybody. And so when I was finally ready, I had 3 awesome mentors step up, and I just asked. I really, really like you, and I see a ton of ways to learn from you, and they took me in, and I think they get very energized by it. I get super energized by it.
They end up, if you do it right, they end up contacting you, like, hey, what's going on? What's this? I know
totally.
I get pictures of, I'm on this golf course, like a notable golf course, like, what the hell's taking you so long? Like, we had a 4th spot open, you're still messing around. I don't know what you're doing.
It's really cool.
So, second part, before we get into that, why are you doing all this? Like, what drives you?
Yeah, that's.
And you got development, you got lofts, you got expansion plans out, potentially outside of where we live here. I've thought a ton about that, because we talked earlier. 96% of all businesses are $1 million and lower. Under $1 million, and then 0.4% are 10 million, and we're striving to that next phase right now, and so we're already in this small little percentage, and things are good, but I want more, and I always have. I've always desired to have a large company, and all the wise people in your life, when you are wired this way, ask you why. Yeah.
Like you could have this, and it could just be very simple, and I go to impact. I'm a big noble purpose guy. I love to understand why we're doing what we're doing, and so for our company, it's community creation, and so we first create a community as our culture. I call them the tribe, our company, and so we build awesome people within our company, and then those people go out and build a community, and the more we do, the bigger we are, the more impact we'll have, and honestly, it's impact. And part of me might not be mature enough to understand why that's not wise, but until this young and dumb, like I'm just gonna go because every stage that we grow, it's super uncomfortable, but you pop up to this next place and you look around, there's nobody around, and you get all this anxiety about like, oh my gosh, maybe I went off the rails.
This was the wrong rabbit hole. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get comfortable with what's going on, and then others start popping up, and you start getting into this place where it's normal. And so
you have to break the chain of your current reality.
Totally, which is tough. My shrink calls it reality distortion. It's like Steve Jobs had it. Mm-hmm. Like I struggle with it. I have a ton of difficulty with being in the present.
I was going to say, you're just like me.
I'm always out. My wife, I mean, bless her heart, like she will stop me in conversation in dinner and be like, "You're lucky to have me because
I don't know where the hell you are right now."
I don't need, I don't always need you here because you're not. And so that's one, I always say there's a shadow side to every strength, and so
my God, our wives would have a field day talking about.
There's a lot going on there, and so it's being present is constantly a challenge, and
because it's always what's next.
It's always what's next, and
if you're not growing, there's no middle ground. If you're not growing, you're going that way, and it's just. That could be true or not. It's a story that I tell myself. It's obviously a story that you tell yourself,
that's a great point.
So that's my current narrative right now. And is there a balance there? Yeah. Balance is a really challenging thing. I admire people who do it well. We have a couple clients, a couple friends that just seem to have that down. And I like you, I think you agree with my wife is like super balanced with that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I fly around the map, going over whatever, and she's like the center ground. Like, hey. You gonna land soon? All right, I'm here. I'll take a breath. But it is. But it's all fun.
Yeah.
It's who you are, though. It's who you are.
Yeah.
All right. So the second part of this, one thing. Let's say I'm a person, whether any age, I want to learn, or I want to do something different than I'm doing right now. I'm scared. The unknown is the unknown.
Yeah.
But I want to make a change, whether it's health-wise, business-wise, career, whatever it is.
Yeah.
What's a piece of information you give them?
So I think back to when I was there, and there was all this rhetoric around like fake it till you make it. Like, remember that? Who was that?
I don't know, but I don't like it.
Who was that main guy?
Fake it till you make it.
Gosh, he was so prominent. Ziegler, maybe?
Yeah,
it was a guy like Ziegler.
Did he say that? But yeah, obviously he was very, very predominant.
Do a quote at the bottom of this.
Yeah, okay. Got it. We'll figure it out.
Quote that.
Right here.
Somebody. So that was what I was brainwashed in, and so, I remember being early in business. I would never tell my age. I would always try to act older than I was and better than I was, and that created this posing. This constant posing.
It did not feel authentic.
It was not authentic. And it wasn't until last year, so 2016, I have a mentor and a great friend, and he's my psychiatrist. He's everything. Dr. Andy Atwood. He introduced the leadership circle, which is basically a super comprehensive. Have you heard of that? It's called Leadership Circle Profile. Okay. And it takes 20 of your closest people in your world, and they do a questionnaire on you, and then you do one on yourself, and it rates you on all these different attributes and pros and cons.
But it gets your 20 people to get wrong.
It hits you in the stomach. Like, I had a stomach ache when I got the results.
But that's real, man.
It was so real. It was awesome.
Oh, I really like that.
For the first time I could see it, black and white, I was rated really low in that authenticity.
Oh, that had to sting.
And it was awful.
Oh man.
And so it's been over, I think, a year-ish. And so I had to look deep in myself, like, what am I doing that's not authentic? Because I feel very real, I'm very candid. I love having very vulnerable conversations. But there's a perception, there's a perception that I was not being authentic. And so I've had to do a ton of work on the authenticity piece, and I think I trace it back to when I started so young. I had to constantly be this next thing before I actually was. So I think I lied to myself, and then others kind of believed it.
That's so true.
The brakes went on this year.
I get it. I don't know what would be what would be said, but I can tell you that I felt a ton of pressure having left an industry, which we have a lot of clients now. But I left an industry and turned down, God, it was 4 or 5 jobs because we're younger people, and a lot of the industries we work in is not younger people, right? Okay. And it was like whenever I got together, whether it was a conference or show, it was that expectation, like, well, you better be killing it if you're taking all these jobs. And so maybe I acted like I was doing better than I really was. I mean, we're, whatever. But it was one of those things where the pressure is you're taking this risk. A lot of people, maybe they support you, but in the back of their mind, they're like, we don't know what you're doing.
Right.
And it can, without the right self-confidence, can force you into trying to tell a bullshit story.
Totally.
Totally. It's not hard to fall into that trap.
Totally.
When you feel you're like under the microscope, like, well, you should just do this, you should do this. I mean, I literally had 2 people waiting for me to. I can think of them. I won't say them. They're friends, but they're waiting for me to fail. Like waiting. And so I had to tell the story, whatever. But you know what? But you did one thing that 99% of the population would rather just deter. You actually said, I want to know. Mm-hmm. I want to know. Like, it's going to hurt. Like, you might tell me that
it's a big deal,
but I want to know, and it hurt, but you're probably better for it.
I've made big strides already from that. You asked what I would say to a younger version of myself, and it would just be authentic. Start out being authentic, because the people that you want to be involved with, the sophisticated, evolved human beings you want to be a part of, they know. Oh, yeah. They know you're.
They can smell it. They can read it. They can.
So I wish I could see a video of myself posing in front of these people.
But at the same time, there's also a train of thought. Maybe it's a 30-year-old train of thought, but tell them you can do everything, and tell them you can do everything. You got it all figured out, and this and this and this, and that instills confidence. But I think that deters. I think that flies in the face to where we are social, emotional beings, and we can read. If you have a brain in your skull, you can read when somebody's not being authentic and transparent to you. Yes. So what do you say? I mean, to your point, I'm going to piggyback on it. Yes, I think I can do that for you. If it's a pension, yes, I know I can do that for you, or do it for free, or I'll do it. Pay me X. In 90 days, if you are not happy, I will give you the check back.
Right.
Or something like that. But it's okay to. I don't have it all figured out yet either, but I will work. They should feel that you will work your butt off to figure it out.
I think the right people see that, though.
The right people see that. And if the person doesn't see that, you don't want to do business with them anyway. Because if somebody comes up to us now and says, like, I don't really know what I'm doing with this, but I'm willing to do X, Y, and Z, and if you don't like it, you can have your money back. Yes. Oh man, you got me one, because you just put your heart on the line. You know what I mean? Like, emotionally, I would feel awful getting the check from you. Go have at it.
Yes.
So, all right. So authentic, stay true to yourself. It's okay to be in the process, which we all are in the process.
And then just get in the game. Like, do.
Let's go.
Just do.
Yeah.
A lot of people think they can live in their parents' basement and build an app and not interact with humans and make $1 million. That's bullshit. You can't do that.
I know.
And then there's people who have, but that might not even be true.
Lottery. They hit the lottery.
Yes, which
then Instagram.
You hear about so many successful apps, but how many successful ones?
Trillions.
Well, again,
literally millions of them.
After you watch Gary Vee stuff, you can thank me. But Gary Vee says for every Instagram, there's 1 billion Insta shits.
Social media is like your little personal billboard.
Personal billboard. I mean, it's really hard with that, and that's very true. It's very true to. I'm glad you said be authentic, because there's a lot of. I got my parents gave me a couple $1,000 so I could spread it across my bed, take a picture of it, and I'm really balling out now, man. Here's my Lamborghini, which I'm laying on, that just so happens to be on the street. And I took a quick picture. Just like that's not what it's all about. It's about the process.
I want there to be somebody videotaping me getting yelled at by a stakeholder because I screwed something up.
Where were you then?
Please don't tag me.
I still have a vivid memory of it was a Friday night, and I've been in the office since all the way to 10 o'clock, 6 a.m. 10 o'clock, 6 a.m. 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And I literally, on Friday night, I look back at the week and I'm like, I don't think I got anything done at all. I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm going to sell. I don't know what I'm doing. And I know that, what I have to sell has to figure out because the emergency fund is shrinking a hell of a lot faster than I thought it was going to. You know,
as an entrepreneur, like there's a real alarm behind
it's a ticking time bomb. You know,
cash.
Like
cash.
my gosh, I'm not attractive enough to be a stripper.
That's
Like I don't know what I'm going to do.
Just try.
Exactly.
No, that's the I love that though. That's the fun of capitalism. Like the free market allows us to take something out of thin air and monetize it, and it's up to you. It's totally up to you. And the beautiful pressure that you had didn't require any accountability from a boss.
Exactly. It's all on you.
It's you.
It's all on you.
You literally wanted to produce for you. And that's a cascading effect to the people in your world.
I heard this from a mentor, and we'll go on to the third point after this. But I heard this from a mentor, and I think you agree with it. Where he was asked about his businesses. You know, how often by an employee, how often do you think about your business? And he responded, how often do you think about your kids? And it's kind of true. It's your little baby, right? It's your little baby.
Yes.
I don't have kids yet.
Yeah.
I just have a furry animal dog, which is treated better than we all should strive to have his lifestyle.
Those kids will find you.
Yes, exactly. All right, our the third part of this is, what would you tell the 14, 15, 16-year-old self? Like, what would you wish you knew then that you didn't know now? Do we need another run? Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. It's the polar bear. I would say don't drink beer.
Would you? Well, you're 14 for crying out loud. What tells me what happened in Lake Odessa.
Beer for years. You know, I'm big on just go, just do something. You know, and like I said earlier, that you start and you have no. So to this day, let me just be very vulnerable here. Our sophisticated cash flow analysis has a line item that's labeled nut. And every entrepreneur knows what a nut is. It's like what you have to make to go on the next day.
Yes.
And so
when I flip those lights on, it costs me X.
Yes.
If the sun comes up,
yes.
this is being yanked out of account, whether we show up or not.
Yeah, so you have to cover that nut, right? And so
break-even point, whatever you call it. Yeah.
Yes. And so I honestly,
the bigger you get, the bigger the nut is.
The bigger the nut is. Yeah. So one thing I would go to your Rich Dad Poor Dad, cash flow, recurring revenue. I honestly, if young entrepreneurs could solely focus on recurring revenue, and if they could truly understand what that actually meant by the business doesn't need you, you can start so small. You start so small. I mean, and entrepreneurs like Warren Buffett, like there's tons of stories of like these little tiny businesses that just freed up these little people that were like 15, 16 to not have to worry about any money, and they could just worry about compounding interest and furthering their world. I think if you could just create these little cash flow models at a young age, honestly, it would be such a cool way to get in the game. Just prove something at a small level that pays you, and you get that feeling of recurring. Like, I'm not doing anything today, but that thing is coming in. And I know it's easier said than done, but there's simple examples. Like I started a lawn mowing company.
Gumball machines.
Yeah, it was
stuff like that. I met a kid the other day that had 10 of them. He'd walk around, whatever.
It's amazing. Like my first lawn mowing company. Now, granted, my dad bought me my lawnmower for my 6th grade birthday present, and I'm an April kid, so perfect for mowing season.
Yep.
But I had a mowing empire, and then I merged with my best friend across the lake. We had all these lake homes that were just weekend houses for people. It was we made so much money, and literally we started hiring our neighborhood buddies because we were 3 sport athletes, so we couldn't keep up with the business.
Right.
All of a sudden, we're not even doing any work, and we're making money. And this is a young age. Mm-hmm. So you're getting literally brainwashed at a young age that you don't have to just...
That is invaluable.
So, I mean, if you're 15, 16, you don't have a big nut, right? Just get in the game.
Everything.
That's everything. Get in the game.
Yeah, I mean, because even living expenses... And we're not talking about going to Ruth Chris every night or doing that, but it's a considerable thing.
How many people do you know that are our age or later in life that they can't? They're golden handcuffs. They can't break off from their lifestyle to try something. They can't. Or they have to risk their whole retirement or mortgage their home. And when you start that young, not saying you don't ante up along the way and take big risks and everything, but I don't know, if you just get in that mindset early on just to create revenue sources, I think that's the coolest thing to do as a young kid.
So how do I learn how to do that? Because I tell you what, I would have been all for it, interested. That at 14 years old, I've been really cool.
You weren't even thinking about it?
Well, I was thinking about it because I did the same thing you did. I mowed some lawns. My dad gave me let him use his equipment and even gas, whatever, and I'd go mow here and there. But I did it just to play 15 tournaments a year in golf. Like, I had to pay for my own golf, which gets pretty expensive.
Yeah.
It's a great way to learn the value of a dollar.
Yeah.
But when you come to kind of building a business and actually having other people do it, man, that wasn't on my radar. I mean, what's one simple book that if you feel like you have a kid, as a parent, I think it's very important for you to figure out what your kid's strengths are at an early age and really push them towards that as much as possible. Is there a book? Is there something they can read? Is there something like that?
Have you ever read the E-Myth?
Yes.
Michael Gerber?
Michael Gerber.
I read that at a super young age.
Okay.
And I honestly believe that if you can stomach that thing at a young age and you're inspired by it, you're going to be a winner.
Yes.
You're going to be in business because it's not about Harry Potter. I mean, it is business. It's about franchising your business. And I think you have to pay attention. Not everybody should should be an entrepreneur.
Oh, thank God.
Not everybody should.
Do you think there's some fakes out there?
I don't know. Probably.
So watch social media, and there's plenty of
I mean, not
it's
everybody
sexy to
should.
do it right now.
Yeah, it's hard as hell though. I mean, it's business is hard. I mean, the stats we said, 96% of all businesses are $1 million of revenue or less. 0.4% of all businesses get to $10 million of revenue. I mean, think of in the United States, how many is that? It's fascinating.
Do you think it's hard because it's hard, or do you think it's hard because we've grown up and our entire education system of way of life is industrial age economy that was started by Rockefeller to make sure we were great employees?
Yeah,
I think it's a little both. Because we don't grow.
It's obviously a part of our how we grew up. I mean, school is a great example. Like, you do this, you study, you memorize, you get a good grade, you move on. It's not experiential. I mean, you memorize something.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad killed my GPA in college. I 4.0 the first semester, and then I literally did not care for the rest of the semester. I'm like, what? You learn this? You learn this? I mean,
I had the best teacher in the world, Mrs. Humbrock. She gave freshman algebra. Math was tough for me. Now I love math, accounting, finance.
Depending on what color the numbers are, it gets a lot more fun.
Yes.
The red ones
but
suck.
You learn through the
black
red
ones are better, but the red ones really suck.
They teach you a lot, but she gave me an E. I was all A's and B's, maybe.
Not for excellent?
No.
Okay.
No. I literally got to high school. My parents were teachers. I shared that.
Yep.
And I got an E. So my parents, of course, call a teacher-parent conference because it's not their fault. It's the teacher's fault, right?
Oh.
And literally, the teacher's like, Derek just doesn't get it. And it was that industrialization. I was the smartass in class that'd be like, why do I need to know algebra? Why? How is it going to help me in life?
Okay, you were that guy. Yes.
I was that guy, and I'm not proud of it, but I was.
I was more that way in the English side. Math came very natural to me, but English, I remember reading.
English, I could BS. I loved it.
Okay, what was the book? What's the book?
To Kill a Mockingbird?
No, where they kill, the glasses break, and it's a foreshadowing or something. I just remember we had to identify symbols and stuff like that. Like, this is symbolic. I'm like, you don't know that. Like, how do you know that? I know that 3 times 3 is 9. But you don't know, how are you marking me wrong if this is supposed to be what I feel or what I think? I just remember. Yeah. So I was the asshole in that class. Mrs. Larson, I don't know if she's still around or not, but she actually made me a lot better because she would give it back to me. This is 10th grade. I never forget that.
That's healthy.
She
That's
just
feedback.
gave it back to me.
That's feedback.
And I would tell her, I still think that doesn't make any sense. Like, I disagree completely. Whatever. She said, I don't care if you do. It's wrong. Here's how you need to look at it.
So back to your, is it industrialization that causes those stats and everything? I think it's hard as hell. It's hard. Business is very complex, especially in a climate like today where.
What's the hardest thing about your business right now?
Everything changes every day, all the time. And so we grew up in this utopian belief that, like, at least I did, that you wake up one day and everything's good, everything's fine, you're cash flowing and you're putting money away and everybody's happy, and then you wake up and
you
it's
go
not true.
autopilot for 30 years.
Yeah, and so I think as an entrepreneur,
And then you go to Naples and then you're fine. You're good.
yeah, it doesn't work that way. Those people in Naples like have scars.
Yeah.
Like there's real battle wounds, and I think as an entrepreneur, you have to be really really tough. I mean, you have to have very thick skin. You have to be highly adaptable, highly evolvable, and if you're not, I think you die. And I think 96% of companies die. I mean, what is it? 95%.
Well, most companies under $1 million are self-employed. They're not really business.
Exactly. So what's that leap to 10 million?
Mm-hmm.
Is all of a sudden you have middle management, you're leading leaders, and
Which
that's
is a
massive
completely
jump.
different game.
So huge,
Yeah.
so huge. I made that transition last year, and it was the most awkward phase of our business because all of a sudden I went from 6 people in my company, and I could nurture them and grow them and understand them and give them energy, and they give me energy, and then it went to 12, and all of a sudden it's like, what's my responsibility to this new leasing advisor, this young soul that I care about, but I don't have time to get to know her. It's this weird leap. So what's my responsibility to that person? And that's that leap. That's so tough.
Leaders eat last.
Yes, I
Read that one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's an awesome one. It's a great one.
That's a good one. I saw him speak a few years ago. That's a really good one. But it's a tough shift. But it's another shift.
You're constantly learning. It never stops.
I gotta be honest with you. I mean, 5-10 years ago, you make a company that has X in revenue, makes Y in profit. You're good. You don't have to worry about anything. You're fine.
Yeah,
I'm like, God, was I really wrong?
That's perception. You think that's true.
Perception.
That's not true.
Perception. And I guess we are, at our age, we are blessed to have more of our life than a lot of our clients are baby boomers. Right?
Yeah.
Our own significant size. They're in the north of 20 million B2B. Some of them are a couple hundred million. But they, in their life, have watched change speed up so much in the last 10, 15 years, where it didn't change as much for the first 45 or 60 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 33, will be 34, and change has been moving along for half my life pretty rapidly. Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit more, a little bit more used to it. Right?
Do you find an advantage? Am I interrupting?
No. I'll do that to you anytime, so you can do it to me.
Do you find an advantage that, like we're old enough where like we didn't have Facebook? I didn't even in college, high school, college.
I did in college. I didn't text in college.
You did?
Yeah.
You did have Facebook in college? Mm-hmm. So you were early adopter probably, and I'm late adopter in technology.
Okay.
But do you find it interesting that like we grew up, a lot of our life, we grew up like in our developmental years, like learning that like shaking hands.
Oh yeah.
The neurons are flashing, right?
Yep.
We can't do that without that. Mm-hmm. I know that goes a little against your brand.
No, it's completely with the brand.
Okay.
We want to create more handshakes, but there's the moments in between.
Got it.
That you got to build a relationship
that's
too.
Brilliant.
1 out of 10 ideas flow. He blows up the other 8, 9 of them, but 1 out of 10
Very
ideas
good.
flow.
Okay.
I wasn't even drunk when I thought of the name.
So there's something that we have in us that's old school. I think we're part of the not to sound like the young kids, but I do think we have a balance of like in real estate for me. Real estate's a very old school brick and mortar.
That's part of it too. You and I have similar.
So I have that appreciation for just like building it brick by brick by brick, but also like you infuse the social media, you infuse the leveraging of the creative stuff coming in.
I will tell a client, and I'll tell someone, I completely agree, to tell somebody, I didn't grow up in this shit either. Texting wasn't even when I was in college.
Yeah.
I mean,
I used to say I don't text.
Yeah,
text.
Now I started using it. Maybe my first job was an outside sales position in the building products supply chain, also selling to lumber dealers or retailers, stuff like that. Like so, manufacturers in the supply chain, not a builder, but the supply chain outside of the depots and big box stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that is a hop in your car, shake hands, whatever. I mean, and I got the nickname Pledge, right? It's like the young guy, because I'm with literally the next youngest person, I think at the time was maybe 42, 44, and I'm 22, just turned 22. So I'm a little bit younger, I'm aware, I'm studying things because I'm always an entrepreneur in my head. But then I'm infused in this industry that is classic, outdated, classic B2B, classic handshakes.
And it works.
Just take the guy out to dinner, tell him you're sorry, he'll start buying the product. He doesn't give a shit about the description. He doesn't care what it is.
He doesn't care about what your why is.
He doesn't care about any of that stuff. Just take him there, go get him, have drinks, go fly there. And I just remember my travel budget was off the chart, amazing, but it worked. There was that. So I got a lot of appreciation for that face-to-face, that relationship.
Old school.
And said, how do I create more opportunities like that? And don't lose that value, because that's so special. But how do I infuse this new technology, communication stuff just to help this?
That's cool.
Because if I help you out on the medium that I choose, like maybe I only want to reach out, maybe I only want to talk to you via videos, via social media, via you popping up on search and all that stuff. Maybe it takes 10 touch points of me doing that before I'm willing to meet your on-site salesperson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I love that space.
Yeah.
And I want them to preserve the way they've always done business, and they're very highly emotional about it. And they, but so to your point, like we're unique, being a little bit younger and seeing the older
we're
style.
Like tweeners almost. In
Yes.
a lot of ways.
Yes. But when you go to, Alex 23, right? I mean,
I mean all this respectfully. Oh, you're good.
So, I memorized my friends' phone numbers and dialed them
7 digits.
Dialed them on 7 digits, stuff like that, right, from the home phone.
Yeah.
And even a 10-year difference. That
I know 4 phone numbers. 2 of them are my parents, and I don't even know my sisters.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I can remember my next door neighbor and my best friend across the lake. Like, I can name them off right now. Literally, my high school girlfriend.
Yeah.
That'd be weird.
All right. I'm going to try this. Logan Cook, one of my best friends growing up, 517-349-5948. Just like read them off, whatever. And that used to be valuable. I used to be the number guy.
Oh, I mean.
And then they didn't need it anymore. That's when I got the phone.
My boy Cole, 616
Oh, yeah.
374 8259.
Yeah.
I mean that, which now I'm being facetious. Like we actually had one of those old phones. I'm not saying that's all we had. It's like.
So, I had a client come back to me. He recited a line from a 60s TV show or something like that. He goes, "Oh my gosh, you're never going to know that. You're too young." I said, "No, it's in our history books." Like, we're good. That didn't go over too well either.
Fun to play.
Yeah, exactly. We're probably not getting paid on time for that guy. But hey, Derek, thank you for taking a few minutes out today. It's been a pleasure. You've been super helpful for the crowd.
Absolutely.
Your business again, where can we find you? Where we can stay up to date?
616lofts.com.
Okay, perfect.
That's where you find everything. And if you want to live in a beautiful apartment downtown Grand Rapids,
there you go.
where to find us.
Derek, thank you so much.
Thanks for your time.
All right, take care.